welcome back to another episode of Serena Cooks with Love. I am Serena Cooks, and today we are going to be preparing Jamaican oxtail. If you are interested in learning how to prepare this dish, stay tuned. Alrighty, so now we just want to take a look at the ingredients that we are going to need. I know it looks like a lot of seasonings, and quite frankly, it is a lot, but don't worry, everything will be listed in the description box for you. Of course, you are going to need oxtail. You are going to need some lemon for cleaning. You are going to need bell pepper, onion, carrots. You are going to need scotch bonnet or habanero pepper, whatever you can get from your grocery store. And then as far as your seasonings, that is going to be salt, pepper. You are going to need some allspice. You're going to need some oxtail seasoning that you can find in your grocery store. Accent. There's going to be a lot of them. And again, I am going to have all of that listed. You're also going to need some soy sauce as well. But again, everything is going to be listed for you in the description box below. We always want to start by thoroughly cleaning our meat. Of course, we always use cold water, a little bit of white vinegar, and some lemon and or lime. As I shared with you before, by using the lemon and lime, that is going to cut through that greasy feeling that you feel on unwashed meat. So you are going to rinse and repeat until you do not feel the meat is so slimy. Okay, and if you choose, you can take off some of the excess fat. Oxtail does have a lot of fat in it that helps with the flavor, but if you see parts of your oxtail that has like an excessive amount of fat, you can trim if you'd like. All right, so now that I have thoroughly cleaned my meat, I'm just going to go ahead with chopping up my veggies. So we are going to go ahead and chop up our carrots. And I'm using about 4 carrots here. Just enough to add a little nutrients and texture to the dish. And then we are going to roughly chop an onion. It does not need to be diced too small. and that is 1 whole onion. I used half that I had already had, and then I used the half of a fresh one. And then I am going to use 2 colored bell peppers, more so just for the look of your dish. Remember, you eat with your eyes as much as you eat with your mouth, so you want your food to look good. So adding color makes it more appetizing and appealing to your eye, which is going to get your mouth all prepared for that yummy goodness that you are doing up in the kitchen. And again, just a rough chop with your vegetables, nothing too small. As far as the peppers, they are very hot. So if you don't want it to be too spicy, just use 1 and keep it whole. Do not chop it up. If you like the spicier oxtail, then you can go ahead and cut it up and add, more than 1 if you would like. Just keep in mind that Scotch bonnet peppers, they are very hot, and they can overwhelm your dish if you overdo it. So just be careful. All right, so we are going to start to season our meat. So we're going in with some black pepper. I am eyeballing everything according to the amount of oxtails that I am using. And so I am going to encourage you to do the same, but for those of you who don't feel comfortable doing that, I would say roughly a teaspoon of each. So that was black pepper, that is turmeric, this is ginger, garlic, pimento, this is oregano, and based on what I'm seeing, it doesn't even look like it's a teaspoon. So I would say maybe, a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of each. Okay, that was Badia Complete. This is Oxtail Seasoning that I am trying to get out of the container. It was kind of caked up in there. You want to use a good amount of that one. If you can find that one, you want to use a good amount of it. But basically what that has in there is some sugar. It has some paprika, garlic powder, salt, onion. I think it has allspice in there. Okay, and of course we're gonna go in with our garlic powder, onion powder, and kosher salt. You want to give that a good mix. Make sure all of the meat has equal amount of seasoning distributed throughout all of the meat. And then you want to go in with your browning. And again, I am eyeballing that. Browning is more so for color than it is for flavor. So the deeper you want your color, the more browning you're going to use. And at this step, you would also go in with some soy sauce. You'll see me add soy sauce later on in the dish. I did add it in at this step too, off camera. I had almost forgotten about it, and I had went ahead and added it in. Okay, and so we are gonna go ahead in with our vegetables here. So we're going in with the bell peppers and the onions. The carrots we're gonna be adding to the dish a little later, but we wanna go ahead in with our bell pepper and our onion to season the meat. You want to incorporate that all together. Okay, so you can just see how it looks. It's very well seasoned, okay? That's how you want your oxtail to look. Okay, and to our pan, we are gonna go ahead and heat it up. And then what we want to go ahead and do is place our oxtail right in as soon as the pan is nice and hot and ready. Basically what we want to do is just get it a little seared off on each side. I like to use a big pan like this. Or Dutch oven, you know, whatever you want to call it. I actually found this at Amazon. It was only like 14 bucks. Somewhere around there, very cheap. It's not too heavy, but it cooks well. And it is nice and big for dishes like this. I'll actually try to find the link, and I will put the link in my description box of this video if you want to purchase this one as well. So we're going to go ahead and let that cook off on that one side, and then we are going to flip it over after a few minutes. Alright, so we are going to flip over our oxtail. Alright, and so once it's seared off on both sides, we want to go ahead and add our veggies to the pot as well. And all I'm doing is just moving them around so that the rest of the seasonings, the bell peppers and the onions, you know, have some space in there to get down to the bottom so they're not just sitting on top of the oxtail. Okay, what I was also doing is I was boiling off some water so that it could be added to the pan. The reason for boiling it off is so that I'm not bringing down the temperature of the oxtail when I'm adding in my liquid. So I would recommend that you do that as well. Just boil off some water, and then when you are ready, add that to the dish. And so we don't want to completely submerge it, but you do want to cover it mostly. You are going to be cooking the oxtail down for several hours, so you want to make sure that you're putting enough water in and that you are checking on it every now and then to see if more water is needed, and also checking the tenderness. What I'm also adding to the dish here is just our thyme. That is fresh thyme. And a few stalks of that is all that you need. And then we are going to cover. And this is on medium heat. And you're just going to let that cook down. And as I mentioned, every now and then, you're going to come check on it. Make sure you have enough liquid in there. And continue to let that cook down. I just went ahead and put a little bit more soy sauce in there. You always want to taste when you cook to see if there's anything that's needed. And from what I can taste, I wanted to add in some more season. So I went ahead and with a little bit more oxtail seasoning. And I also threw in my pepper, my scotch bonnet. I left my scotch bonnet whole. Okay, and again, every now and then you want to come and check. You want to move things around, make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom of the pan. See if there is more liquid that's needed. As you can see, the water has cooked down quite a bit. And again, I am tasting. You always want to taste. All right, here I am going in with a squeeze of ketchup, or you can use tomato paste. Traditionally for Jamaican oxtail, they tend to use ketchup versus a tomato paste, so that is what I am using. Always taste. You want to make sure that it has enough flavor all throughout that dish. Okay, we are going to continue to cook down. Once you're about 45 minutes to an hour out, you can go ahead and add in your carrots. You wouldn't even, I would say 45 minutes to an hour out of being done. You want to go ahead and put in your carrots. If you like your carrots to be a little bit more, like have more of a bite to them, you want to hold off, a little later to maybe 30 minutes or so out. Okay. This is what it looks like as it continues to cook down. At this point, it is nearly done. And now, all I am going to do is add in a can of butter bean. I'm draining the water from these, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put the beans in. Always want to move it around, make sure there's nothing sticking to the bottom, and make sure the butter beans are incorporated well into the dish so that they are able to soak up that flavor as well. We are going to cover this back up and let it cook off for maybe another 15 to 20 minutes. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just jabbing the oxtail with my spoon to see if the meat is falling off. If the meat is falling off, that's when you know it's done. Okay, so a lot of the liquid has reduced. Our butter beans have been incorporated into the dish. They have soaked up that flavor. My oxtail is falling apart as I touch it with my spoon, and I've tasted it and my flavors are all good. And this is what your end result will look like once everything has cooked down. It will be nice and brown and delicious. A lot of your vegetables will have just melted away and just turned into nothing but flavor in that sauce. You can serve oxtail over rice. You can serve oxtail with mac and cheese like I am doing here with a vegetable, which I don't have shown. But your oxtail goes with anything. It can be served over rasta pasta, which is basically a like a Cajun Alfredo pasta. There's so many different ways to twist this dish and make it your own. But if you haven't ever tried oxtail, I encourage you to do so. And I encourage you to try this recipe. If you do intend to try, I hope you leave a like and a comment for me in the box below to let me know if you are going to try and how it goes. I also want to thank you for watching and continuing to watch my videos. I make these for you. If you are new here, please make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. I drop a new video every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. And if you aren't already, please follow me on Instagram at Serena Cooks. I am also on TikTok at Serena Cooks as well. Again, thank you for your love and your support. I'll see you next video. I love you.